Good morning everyone. We've got a tasty one for you this morning. It's a Peugeot 208, and this is a 1.2 HMZ engine on a 2015 model. So the customer's complaint with this one, this is a long story. The car will not keep a charge. It can run for 3 days and the battery goes flat. So they sent it to a reputable garage here. They're very good actually, and they had it for about a week, they said, and they put a new alternator on it and a new battery. It did not clear the problem, so they took them back off and they told the person to take the car to the main dealer. The main dealer then had the car and they had it 2 weeks, and they did not know what was wrong with it, but the recommendation was, wait to hear this one, carry a spare battery and change it every 3 days. So what I done was I came out and scanned this car on Friday, and here is some of the codes that came up. So we had a P, I'll just record that, we'll make it big screen. We had a P1632 engine management ECU internal fault, limitation of torque, right? Then we had a U1F1B transmission reception fault in the intersystem can. Then we had a U1F1B LIN fault 21, and that was a permanent fault. And then we had a U1FO fault event not stored in the faults log, permanent. And then we had a B1808 fault in the unlocking of the immobiliser, a U1802 vehicle speed data fault, a B1153 windscreen wiper part information, a B1138 front dip beam control fault, a B115F front courtesy lamp fault, a B1826 engine oil pressure alert fault, a B1805 starter fault, a B1816 loss of the hybrid train status information of the start and authorisation information from engine management, a C1651 tyre under inflation detection reset request signal fault, an air conditioner fault, an inner left parking assistance centre fault, and fault with his transmission by the top column of the LIN. Now, theory here is a lot of these codes could be created by a flat battery. So I cleared the faults, got the car to start, and the only one that came back immediately was this U1F1B LIN fault 21. So I went away up the road and I done a bit of research, and I'll tell you what I found out. So before I tell you what I found out, what I done, I put my normal multimeter on it, and when the car was idling, it was not charging. We were only getting 12.36 volts and it was slowly coming down. So as I said, I done a bit of research, and what they said, it's a LINBUS fault. And seemingly the LINBUS goes to two areas. One is the battery sensor, which at the moment I cannot find on this thing. And two, it also goes to the active grille component, which I think this machine has not got. I've seen that on DDTSB. You're meant to see it through here, but this one's not got an active grille, I don't believe. And it seemingly gets water and shorts out. But let's see. Maybe it has. No sure. Anyway, so I'll start the car up and let you see it idling and let you see the voltage. But there's another gotcha in it. This is seemingly a known issue with them, where the cure is normally a software update. But I believe the main dealer has done this and the fault still returns. They gave up in the car, so we've got a difficult task on our hands. So I'll let you see this first of all, idling. Fault there, it keeps coming back. A U1F1B LIN fault 21, and that's in the BSI module. Now the BSI module resides in here, and but I think you can see at the moment I've actually got the alternator charging, and I'm going to show you how I got that to do that. We managed to get the alternator to charge by simply disconnecting the LINBUS signal from the alternator, right? So I'll put my multimeter on now, and you can see that we're charging at 14.38 volts, which is good. I checked with my amps clamp, I've got 5 amps going into the battery, which seems a wee bit low, but coming out this thing's about 25-30 amps, so it's doing the business. So you can see they're charging at that rate. And I'll show you my LINBUS here. Let me see, sorry about the light. There is the LINBUS there. I mean, that looks okay to me. Oh dear, bad morning. Doesn't look shorted out or anything like that, but that's disconnected. So what I do, we plug this back in and you'll notice the voltage shoot away down. Right, plugged in, and the voltage goes back to 12, right? So it's really running off the battery at this point. And I'll check my LINBUS again. Sorry, my little connector came out. There's my LINBUS. It looks okay. So seemingly there's 2 bits of this, the slave and the master. Now I look like I've only got a master signal coming out there, but nothing feeding back. So my question is, that ain't working because I think it cannot pick up the battery sensing module. So I'm going to phone the main dealer and see where that is. But I'll just to prove there's nothing coming out of that alternator. Let's put this on. That's minus 2 amps. The battery's actually got a charge going in. Oh, that must be going out. So let's disconnect this again and watch that up there. With the alternator disconnected, we're reading a minus figure, so that means there's 10 amps going back into this battery. Which doesn't seem like a lot for a battery, it was quite flat, but never mind. So that's going back in. We'll then measure the alternator's output. So the alternator's putting out 22 amps, 21 amps. I've never ran this thing, but the good thing about that method, it doesn't bring the battery light on, so this may be the solution, simply a disconnection because the customer does not want to spend a lot of money. So we'll go back, and when we scan it for codes now, you get all these codes, but that's simply because the alternator is disconnected. Signal controlled, electrical fault controlled, mechanical fault, so it's all alternator fault and LIN. So there's definitely a fault in that network. But here's a problem, I haven't got a good diagram to see exactly where all this network goes, this LIN connector goes. So let's go back, let's enter into this module. Fault codes. See, that's what I do with the alternator. And special function. Configuration. There's replacement parts. No. Actuation tests. Oh, nothing there. Read data stream. So it'll be under but I don't want to be here, I want to be in the BSI. So the BSI's just got 2 faults in it. Read data stream.
BSI software versus do not authorise reading of parameter measurements during the engine starting phase. Therefore, it's normally that driving the engine starting phase, several parameters assume non-coherent states or the parameter measurement machine cuts out, it's not displayed.
Okay. So we're going to, I think it'll be supply. Here we go. So select all. So it's running ignition, physical position of the park shunt, customer, power accumulation, recharge status, recharge authorised, inactive, economy mode, engine running stop, supply voltage of the BSI when it's triggered, invalid value. I like the looks of that. Let's come back, try this one, select all. Abusive condition of maintaining the CAN ALS networks, value invalid. Last condition of triggering, value invalid. Maintained activation of thermal inactive. Inactive. These are all inactive. Oh, inactive. Horn active. So what half these things mean, I do not know. So we'll come back out of that. So this is the one we want, LIN2. Value invalid. Value invalid, maintained by CAN passenger command, they're active. So these two ones are invalid. Maintained by central power switch supply relay kept closed inactive. Maintained by inactive. Maintained by diagnostic in progress with LIN2 ECU. Oh, so you'd imagine the LIN2 ECU would be the BSI. Status of power outputs. Oh, nothing. Select all. Alternator reference voltage, so HIT's only looking for 12.3. Oh. Ancillary battery charge is not available. Battery charge estimating station is not available. Battery charge status level invalid or unavailable. So that one there. See, they can't read them. Status of authorized energy function missing. Temperature of ancillary batteries is not available. And voltage estimate started not available. Let's come out of this. So version information. I wonder if this tells us if it's been updated. So it's a value. There's the part number. There's the reference number. Software 111.36. Software reference 96.917.910.80. Date of manufacturing. Part serial number. Serial supply. Base high. So I don't know if the software has to be doing with the BSI or the ECU to update it. I'm not really sure about special function. Configuration. There's the fan keyboard. Learning. I don't think there's any there. Showroom mode. Custom. There's a lot of information. So let's come out of this and go back into the engine. Sorry for all the talking here, but let's back into here and see what software version numbers in this. This is in the ECU. Diagnostic version supplier system. Software version 46. Is that the one I read in the web? And that's a value as well. Downloading. Number of downloads 1. Software version 46. Doesn't tell you the date. Downloaded date 2015. So it's not been uploaded. Not been updated. Right. Let's phone the main dealer. Here's another gotcha. I don't even think that vehicle's fitted with stop start, because I went into this menu system and it seemed like it should be within here. So vehicle settings, driving assistance, let's see, come out of that. Go menu, oh sorry, driving, and there's nothing in there for, I think stop start should be there. And there's no any buttons here for stop start, and there's nothing here for stop start. So when I stop the car and clear the codes, this is the one that comes right back. U1F1B, as I said, LIN fault 21. Now, looking at a wire diagram, it's actually the main engine ECU that looks at that LIN signal that's on the alternator and no the BSI module. So, oh dear, it's a bit of this and a bit of that. So we thought we'd check for a parasitic draw, and you can see this is one of the lowest I've actually ever seen. We're doing it 6 milliamps. You can see we started about 1.3 amps and then after 5 minutes we're down to that. So that kind of jump about there between 6 and 10 milliamps. That'll be an LED flashing somewhere in the dash. Let's see. I can't see actually any LED, but that'll be something just trickling away.